What's up, you guys? It's been a freaking really long while since I've uploaded a video to YouTube. Today I wanted to talk to you about becoming vegan. If you don't know what veganism is, to my understanding, because I'm a new vegan, being vegan means, from a diet standpoint, that you only eat plant-based foods, which means you don't eat beef, chicken, pork, eggs, any sort of animal product like honey, for example, milk, cheese, that sort of thing. No yogurt, no dairy, nothing. I've been vegan since Thanksgiving this year, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why I went vegan and what I plan to do with my YouTube, at least for the next few months while I obsessively do research into veganism. If you guys don't know, I rescued a dog with my boyfriend. His name is Milo, my dog, not my boyfriend. My boyfriend's name is Tony. I rescued Milo from the San Francisco SPCA, and he's a little rescue puppy. He's beautiful, he's perfect. I'm in love with him, Tony's in love with him. We both love him more than dog parents should, I think, if that's possible. After rescuing Milo, I was watching this movie on Netflix called Okja, O-K-J-A, and it's an artistic film, but also an incredibly revealing film that it lets you see what the agriculture and livestock and meat industry is really like. I'm probably doing a really terrible job selling this incredible movie, but it was seriously so eye-opening to me because watching this movie, I had Milo sitting right next to me, who I love more than anything in the world, and seeing this film, watching this young girl go through this movie trying to protect her, you know, giant pig, basically, who is just as smart and loyal and loving and wants to be free of suffering as a dog does. Just watching this movie and seeing how she empathizes with this animal, and then seeing it go to a slaughterhouse at the end, and this is not a spoiler, I don't think. It might be a spoiler. It struck me so hard because I just remember clutching Milo so tight and thinking, like, oh my god, I love my dog as much as this girl loves her pig. And this animal is so smart. And I've seen videos where it talked about what the animal agriculture industry was like and what really happens in slaughterhouses and how we're so removed from this process, but it didn't strike me before because I had nothing to relate to it personally. Watching this movie really opened my eyes to the fact that we are not just slaughtering pigs and cows and chickens. They're not just animals, they're like living, breathing things that feel, that suffer, that want to be free of pain. They are intelligent, they have social interactions with one another, they are so freaking smart, and I could not justify eating animals anymore after watching this film, knowing how badly it affected me. So, from that point on, I went pescatarian. What a pescatarian is, first of all, is someone who only eats seafood. You can be like an ovo, I think it's ovo pescatarian, which is someone who eats seafood and eggs, or like an ovo dairy pescatarian, which is someone who eats dairy and eggs and fish. And that's what I was, because at the time, I didn't know what I know now about eggs and dairy, and I was pescatarian for 6 months. Thanksgiving rolls around, and I have to head to my family's house for Thanksgiving, and I tell my parents in advance, hey, I'm pescatarian, I do not eat turkey, I do not eat animals, this is not something that I want to do, so please can we make something with like shrimp or fish, would that be okay? And my parents, being the super supportive, amazing people that they are, obviously said yes. But when I went there for Thanksgiving, I ate delicious seafood stuff, but I also had family members that were sort of like making fun of me for being pescatarian because they pointed out the hypocrisy in it, because I told them I had gone pescatarian for the animals, but they didn't see why I was still eating eggs and dairy. Meanwhile, they're saying this while they're like shoveling, bacon and eggs in their mouth, but they're, making fun of me, saying like, you don't even know what happens in the dairy and egg industry. Why would you go pescatarian for the animals if you don't really care about the animals? At the time, I didn't see fish as like thinking, feeling creatures. And now I do, after doing a little bit more research, and I know that they don't want to suffer, but at the same time, I just hadn't done enough research. I didn't look into it. But this moment for me of being bullied by family really made me want to look into it, because I wanted to have answers for why I was still eating eggs or still drinking dairy. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought that if I was drinking milk or eating eggs, I wasn't hurting anyone, right? So I looked into it. I did a search for what cage-free eggs meant, and what I discovered horrified me. The first thing I remember seeing was a picture of a chicken who was in a cage-free environment, but cage-free meant nothing because they were still in extremely cramped quarters, and this chicken did not look like a freaking chicken, okay? This chicken had like all of its feathers plucked off of it because it was pecked off by the other chickens living in these like cramped quarters together, because they're social creatures and they go insane just like humans would if we were all jam-packed into a room living and breathing that way for our entire lives, shitting and peeing in the same spot forever and ever, never able to get a breath of fresh air, the ammonia smell so strong that it would drive us all insane. I had no idea that that's what cage-free meant. And their tails didn't look like tails. Like, I could see the spines of their tails, and like, for those of you who aren't vegan who are watching this, and who don't understand like the compassion that I felt for animals at this time, to like go from, you know, being pescatarian for animals to seeing that I was complicit in the torture of these birds, even though I was just eating eggs, was like so shocking to me, because I didn't realize what I was doing. So then I was like, what the I had no idea, and it really upset me. If you're like me, you grew up eating chicken, you grew up eating bacon, you grew up eating beef, you grew up eating eggs and drinking milk and eating cheese and like all this stuff. So this is all stuff that you were taught without even like questioning it, because everyone did it. Everyone, not realizing what's actually behind these industries. Then I was like, okay, now if this is what happens in the egg industry, now I need to better understand what happens in the dairy industry. So I looked that up, and what I saw horrified me, because, and it's so hard to explain right now because I'm like overwhelmed thinking about it. The first thing I saw was a cow being strung up upside down and someone slitting her throat. This is a dairy cow, because if you didn't know, all dairy cows who are no longer able to produce milk because they've been over-milked or are worked till exhaustion are sent to slaughter. Usually cows live up to 25 years of age, but in the dairy industry they usually only make it to 4. So these dairy cows who have been forcibly impregnated, or in other words, raped their entire lives, not by other cows, but by people shoving their fists into their bodies and forcibly inseminating them. These pregnant cows are sent to a slaughterhouse when they are no longer of use because they can't produce milk, and their throats are slit or they're killed in some other way, maybe a bullet to the head. And if they're pregnant at the time, because a lot of these cows are pregnant when they're sent to slaughter, they pull the uterus out of the cow and they either toss the baby calf away, they just kill it, or just throw it away like it's nothing. And I'm describing this to you, but like nothing can explain it better than seeing this for yourself, because how fucking gruesome and horrific it is that we do this to an entire species every single day and think that it's okay is so insane to me. And there's more that happens in dairy beyond this. Like, it's not just pregnant mothers going to be slaughtered just because they can't produce enough milk for us anymore. You guys have to look at this up yourself. If you are listening to this video and you don't care at all what I'm talking about, go watch this, go look it up right now. Go look up the truth behind dairy cows and see for yourself how horrific this is, because this is not just factory farming. This is a widespread thing. This is every single day we are doing this. Every single day we're polluting our environment. We are hurting entire species for our own pleasure, when this is 2017 and there are healthy alternatives to every single thing you can imagine. There are plant-based meats meats that taste exactly the same, the research that you'll end up falling into will like blow your mind, because it did with me. It blew my mind. It felt like for my entire life I'd been lied to by the dairy industry, by my parents, by the school system, by, you know, my work, by everyone around me by restaurants who had told me that this is the normal thing to do, this is good for you, this is healthy, and I hadn't looked into any of the science behind it at all. I just believed it because this is what everyone was doing, which is so fucking scary if you think about it. If you don't look it up yourself because you just go ahead and believe everything everyone says, that is dumb AF. And if you are anything like me, I just remember when I discovered all of this, I immediately went vegan, just like that. I watched this, I went into this black hole because it was like I discovered something and I needed to know more. It is so insane how much pollution is caused by the animal agriculture and livestock industry. It is more than all pollution caused by any of the fossil fuel emissions from all transportation combined. This includes planes, trains, automobiles, everything. Ships, boats, like animal agriculture hurts the earth way more than all of that does. Arguably more than plastic, which if you didn't know, covers over 40% of our oceans right now. So I'm vegan, guys. Over the next few weeks, months, however long, I hope to film a crap ton of these vlogs, not just like this where I'm talking about why I went vegan, but also showing you guys the food that I make that is so effing delicious, talking to you about the new research I've learned from the different books I'm reading so you guys get a better understanding of why I think veganism is important and also why it's not just a trend, it's a lifestyle movement, and many people, including people in the NBA, the NFL, famous athletes, famous celebrities. Ellen DeGeneres is vegan. Brad Pitt is vegan. Ariana Grande is vegan. Oh my god, I could go on. The list goes on forever. There are so many people who are vegan and advocate for veganism because they realize, like I did, that we've all been fucking brainwashed by marketing, and I work in marketing, so I know that these companies have made crap loads of money off of us because we continue to buy into the fact that everyone thinks that milk is good for you, or that we should be eating a certain amount of meat protein per day instead of getting these proteins from plants, which we totally could. It's incredible that people think we can only get this stuff from meat, when meat is a class 1 carcinogen. Processed meat is all right. Anyway, this is all stuff that I hope to dive into in the next few weeks, months, however long it takes me to get it out of my system and feel that I've made a difference. And I plan to attend a lot of vegan-related, what are they called? Events, vigils. A lot of people do vegan events where they visit sanctuaries together. I've asked Tony to take me to a sanctuary for Christmas. I'm pretty excited about that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you are excited to see my future vegan videos. And if not, like, too bad. I'm gonna make them anyway because I think it's an important issue that we should all be exploring and talking about. And thank you so much for watching. Go vegan. Bye.